1983 opened up the endless possibilities that a spiritual life offered.
You don't know what you're doing. No, that's not. That's just your imagination. They're like, okay, and went on about their business.
Also had many readings with you. You're one of my favorite channels, and I love being with you.
Does my heart good to watch my learners open themselves up to the endless possibilities that exist within them.
Well, Jessie, welcome to At Home with ChaChaMama. I'm so excited that you're here. And for those of you watching and listening, I am excited to have Jessie Morgan here on the show today. So let me tell you a little bit about Jessie, and then we'll jump right on into the podcast. Jessie Morgan is a spiritual teacher, counselor, medium, healing channel, and medical intuitive. He discovered his gifts at an early age, seeing spirits, talking with the elemental and nature spirits, and being in solitude during childhood, living in the expansive world of spirit. After university, a chance encounter with his spiritual teacher, Marie Trump, in 1983 opened up the endless possibilities that a spiritual life offered. He studied with various spiritual teachers at the Brotherhood of Eternal Truth, Life's Pathway, of which he graduated from a 4-year metaphysical program and was ordained a spiritual minister in 1990. He then founded, with Margie Beatty, Sacred Journeys, and was there until its dissolution in 2023, which is where I met Jessie. And what an honor to have experienced your classes, spent time with you, and also had many readings with you. You're one of my favorite channels, and I love being with you. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you. My pleasure always. Anytime I can spend time in your presence and also speak to people who are searching for their truths and the spiritual path which is unfolding and opening in front of them.
Thank you. You've been so inspiring and motivating for me. So I'm so grateful to hear a little bit about your journey. And I know you've shared a little bit in the bio about your spiritual journey, but I'd love to know a little bit more of where it started for you.
Well, actually, it started at an incredibly young age. I remember my earliest memories are about age 3. My mother came into my bedroom, and I was lying on the bed with my hands over my eyes, and she asked me what I was doing. And I said that I was looking and talking at the people who were behind my eyes. Now, as a 3-year-old, I did not understand that I was seeing spirit people and being able to communicate with them. The wonderful gift that both of my parents gave to me is they never said, you don't know what you're doing. No, that's not. That's just your imagination. They're like, okay, and went on about their business. And that was a gift because I never got closed down at all. As a teenager, it was difficult because I was so open as an empath, and also being able to feel other people's pain, read their thoughts, know what their emotions were. And that was one of the reasons that I sought help. I went to Marie as a medium because at that point I was in my mid to late 20s, early 30s, and it had gotten to the point that it was noise which was encroaching, was overwhelming. So I went to her for a psychic reading. And it was amazing. She brought forth my father who was in spirit. She brought forth my brother who had died. But more importantly than that, she said, I can help you construct energies which will keep the voices to a minimum until you're ready to open up to them. And that was wonderful. And then I discovered the tarot and spent 5 years studying with her every Wednesday night from 7 in the evening to sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was working a regular full-time job, and it was in Charleston, Indiana. So I would drive there, take the classes, And then in those days, we had what was called seminars. And different people, teachers from around the country would come in. I took Carol Canova's dream interpretation workshop.
Mm.
I took color therapy, and that just began my progress toward working with various and sundry organizations. I went to Chesterfield Seminary to take some
Mm.
classes for my ordination. Uh, I've been to Indianapolis. Their humanistic psychology conference has some wonderful opportunities. So, and I still to this day, I devote probably on a daily basis about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day studying, downloading, and a lot of
Mm.
times people think you have to go in a very deep meditation to download. Once you really begin to work with it, the spirits will create the time. If you just show up, they'll show up.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I have such an intimate relationship with all of my spirit guides that I know instantly what is going on. And it really is amazing. I love to teach because it does my heart good to watch my learners open themselves up to the endless possibilities that exist within them. Recently, I've discovered the ability to do that online. People have helped me with that because one of my funny stories is someone asked me one time, they said, "What kind of computer did you have when you were going to um, college?" And I said, "There were no computers when I was in college." So that all of that has come after that, but it's been wonderful adapting. And the people that I have met around the world with the ability to do it virtually. A couple of days ago, I said it must be an international day. My first client was in Italy, my second client was in Mexico, and my third client was in Norway. And the rest of
Oh,
the
I
clients
love
were in the
that.
States. So you can reach out and touch anyone, anywhere now. I'm amazed at how small the world truly is. I'm
Mm.
also astounded, delighted, and surprised that there's commonality in all humans and we all are going through the same journey. And what people think is different really is not.
Hmm. That's beautiful. I agree completely. How I think of that so often, how interconnected we are right now. And I love that you're holding online classes. Your classes have really been very impactful for me. It's one of my favorite classes. And I always love when you open up also at the end of some of the classes, whether it be with tarot or with channeling the Merlins, is such a beautiful offering that you've done. So thank you for sharing that magic. And you mentioned you open up to spirit for an hour to an hour and a half every day. And that's one question I like to ask is what spiritual ritual it really works well for you, or maybe even one that you recommend for others to utilize?
So, one of the things I always do from the moment between waking in the morning until I put my feet on the floor, there's two things I really do. The first one is I send gratitude out to the universe for another wonderful, beautiful day on being alive. The second thing I do is about 18 inches above my head, I envision a golden waterfall of light that encapsulates me in protection that is magical. When I'm going to open up to spirit, and really people ask me all the time, they're like, do you open it up? I said, I'm not ever disconnected from my spiritual guidance. They always walk with me like old friends. But if I sit down, I will ask an intention. For example, if I'm looking for information on the other side, let's say I want to explore the Akashic records for a particular client, focusing on what is in their physical body now that is coming from past lives, I will open and ask Master Nicodemus to direct me to the angelic energies that can take me to that particular past life in order to figure out what's going on with that particular client. But once I begin to do that, I try to hone in on the specifics of what it is that I need or what it is that a client needs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I do. Because I've been doing this so long, I just ask. The best ritual that I teach my learners is put yourself in a receptivity. Set aside your conscious mind, your mental mind, so that you don't second guess of what someone is going to need or what the spirits are going to say to you. And the other miraculous thing that I've noticed, and I learned this in the early 90s, is spirit is so enveloping that sometimes you will say something to someone, and if they need to hear something else, that's exactly what they will hear.
Yes.
The first time that happened to me, I was shocked because the client was repeating back to me, well, you said this and this and this. And I'm like, well, I don't remember saying any of that, although I've trained myself now that once it flows through me, because it's not my information, I don't hold on to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing about it is because it is in the Akashic records, once the client comes back, all their information will open for me again. So I have references then, but then it will close up again.
Mm-hmm. That feels familiar to me too, in that way, where I don't have to hold it, it channels through. And I find this throughout my days. I'll be in conversation and I'll say something and it will just fly out of my mouth, but it's something that somebody needed to hear. It's interesting how it opens when it's needed as well. And we're constantly in that channel. I feel it more and more as I've developed my gifts over the years, that I'm constantly open to it and also able to say, hey, not right now, I need to rest. And these are things I've learned, some of these boundaries in some of your classes and some of your readings, but I let them know, like, not this time. And also my channel is, and I think you would agree, pretty much open all the time.
Absolutely. It's almost like we swim in an ocean of spirit.
Yes. Yeah. Jessie, what feels alive for you right now? What's important to you? Whether it be something going on in the world, your life, what's alive for you?
The most important thing for me right now is the karmic lessons that I myself am going through, and that is moving from a space of being totally independent, which is the way that I was raised by my grandparents, to learning to receive and accept aid and give blessings to the people that are giving me aid. That has always been very difficult for me on a personal level. And yet I learned a long time ago, when someone gives me aid, the universe is going to provide them 10 blessings karmically for that aid. And so I try to convey that to individuals, that no matter what I give, I'm going to receive a blessing for it. It can be a smile to someone in the grocery store. It can be a kindness, because I've often said that when I die, the only thing that I want to be said about me was that he was kind. That's the most important gift to me, is to be kind. And so I'm looking and helping spread that kindness everywhere. Many people, because of the pain and fractured image that they see reflected back to them, oftentimes dwell in a half empty cup. I hope that I can spread a message that your cups are always filled. They may not be filled with the liquid that you want, but they're always filled.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's beautiful.
I know that sounds very small, but I feel like it is really the small acts that we do consistently that really can move a mountain. You can move a mountain with the spoon if you do it consistently and long enough.
That reminds me as you talk about this, like that wanting to just be seen as kind. And sometimes in readings, people will ask their soul purpose. And I feel like there are often times when it is to just be yourself, be this loving individual, and be the light in your community. That is a soul purpose. And that reminds me of what you're saying about kindness. Would you agree that sometimes that is the soul path? Yeah.
Absolutely. It is often the simple thing. It is the ego that really wants some grandiose, major thing that's going on. But if you are simply being you, not doing you, but being you, that is where the magic is really released. The
Yeah.
totality of the divine is released in you being you and immersing yourself in that ocean of the divine, because you're just a wave in the ocean of the divine, but so is everyone else.
Mm. Yeah. And, moving through life and going through so many changes and the world shifting and having to sit with so many different emotions right now, personally in my life, but also I think we're all seeing so many shifts and changes that have been very drastic over the past couple years, even the past 5 with the world changing since COVID. I feel like there's a lot that we're moving through. And a part of just being, I know for me, is being with the emotion, understanding myself more fully, being open to spirit, and bringing loving kindness. And where can I be more compassionate, more loving in my life? And I'm always looking at those pieces and, thinking about that's just a part of the spiritual journey, I think, is looking at those pieces that are often uncomfortable. We call that shadow work, but it's also light work, really bringing the soul into the body. Do you have certain rituals that you use and find that this still comes up for you?
Oh, absolutely. The working with the shadow is very important simply because it allows you to bring love to yourself, to places within you that you may not want to visit or avoid. I, in looking in some of my counseling practices, I've noticed that some of the individuals that I'm working with, and I work with children from the ages of 3 uh,
Mm,
even to adulthood. And some of them have avoidant personalities. Their life is off track because they're avoiding dealing with those uncomfortable
mm,
parts of themselves that they have developed in response to trauma, their trauma responses. And so helping
yeah.
them work with that. And one of the things that I do is I was trained, Helen Clayman, who is in spirit now, trained me in using the mirror for psychological transformation and shifts and changes. And so I
Mhm.
use those techniques to have individuals confront their shadows a lot of times when I am there, so that it becomes much more gentle and easy. I remember when I was going through my final exam, we had in that healing modality, we had people we'd never seen before, and we had to do it. And the lady that I had, we were progressing, and suddenly she encountered such a traumatic experience. She started caterwauling, and I'm looking at
Mm.
Helen, and Helen's looking at me and said, "It's yours. You have to work through it." So I did, but I've been amazed um, that you can really make some rapid progress, and having me being there to help stabilize a client helps them face um, difficulties sometimes when they may have wanted to avoid it because they have someone to help.
Mhm. Sometimes it is just helpful to have somebody help you see it. It can be hard to see. And I think that's why, as healers, even we also need our own healers. So thank you for sharing. You know, it is important to ask for help, and what a blessing when people are able to, and it is very humbling. So what a great gift, and also a challenging moment, I'm sure. I can understand.
The interesting things as well. People ask me all the time. They're like, "Okay, you talk to all these people on a daily basis. Who do you talk to?" And I said, there are
Mhm.
certain friends who are in this work that I speak to. There also are friends that I've had for 50 years, and I will, go to them and say, "I'm having issues. Please reflect back to me because I trust your opinion, what you are feeling and seeing within me."
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Are there, go ahead. What were you going to say? No, they don't. In fact, sometimes that's where you get the boldest, the most authentic things that come through that hit you, and you have to really grip it and be like, okay, I've got to go sit with that because it's so authentically true. And I've had moments where I've just been like, oh. So a friend's a great spot. So yes, absolutely. Well, are there any messages or channelings that, or anything that you'd like to share with our viewers that's coming through for you at the moment? Nothing mandatory, but I want to offer you the opportunity to share whatever message you would like today.
One of the things that's going on in the universe right now is there really is a transition from third dimensional frequency of fear and materialism to fifth dimensional frequency of love and frequency. That is creating a duality that we're seeing all over the world. People in this particular geographic location feel that it's just isolated here. I will share with you it is not. And as you people move from fear into love, they are shedding. And so, one of the things that really I am seeing both in my own life and in the people that I am connected with is tremendous shedding. The protective energy that they've had around them is being cracked, and the
Mm,
light is pouring in, and it literally is helping them remove all of those things that have chained them to the past, whether that's guilt, blame, shame, or other particular less than positive emotions, and they're moving forward. I see hope everywhere.
mm,
A lot of people want to only focus on the negative. This doesn't happen. This didn't happen. This didn't happen. But I want them to focus, and focus myself on the possibilities of there's a reason I have drawn what I have drawn into my life. There's a
mm,
reason we're living in this tremendous geopolitical upheaval around the world as we are making changes. Let's unite, find our commonality, our humanity, where we can aid and help each other. Remember, we are divine beings of light that are dancing a human dance. That does
mm,
not
mm,
define us. One of the ways that I explain it to individuals, and I had this conversation today, is think about your physical body and then think about an increase in frequency. There's your emotional body. And then think about another increase in frequency. That is your mental body. Most individuals in the third dimension only relate to their mind. I think, therefore I am, and this is who I am. But I submit to you that beyond that mind, there is an awareness.
mm,
You have an awareness that is connected and is the divine. When you connect with that awareness, you really begin to see the physical, mental, emotional in spiritual light. And that can be incredibly profound, because then everything in your life begins to change and you see the simplicity of it. You begin to enjoy spending alone time with you. The reality of it
Mhm.
is, a lot of the distractions, and I look at the dopamine hits that people do in our society. We have our phones because we get a dopamine hit, which is one of the pleasure chemicals in the
Mhm.
brain, every time we're working on the phone or we're doing something. And I'm like, let's retreat and take a step back, take a little bit of time away from the technology or anything that's giving us that dopamine hit, and be with us and learn to create those pleasure energies from just being us. And that can really make a profound difference.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you so much for your message today. It is really a powerful state where we are all awakening, and I feel like we're going into this space of feeling the oneness here on earth as much as we feel in spirit. So, thank you. That's a beautiful message.
You're more than welcome. It is um, hopeful for me that there are so many like-minded people, and they don't come, that we don't wear signs that say I'm awakened. We don't have energy halos over our head. But when you really, the magnetic attraction of that beautiful crystalline white light inside of you, when that is radiating out, people are going to be drawn to you.
Mhm. And it's available to us all. It's available to us all. And just being you and shining your light, you're impacting all of those around you. I say this in circle: as we heal in circle and we step forward into our lives, that light just spreads and spreads and spreads. And that's what brings healing all over in just so many different ways by us just stepping forward.
One of the things that I learned early on in my one of my healing classes is, the instructor said to all of us, said, every person that you serve and help them come back into balance, you're going to help them heal 1,440 other individuals around them. And I'm like,
Oh,
we're all connected with that many people, and absolutely. The
yeah.
world is far closer than you ever imagined. They used to talk about the degrees of separation. I feel like that has shrunk over the last 50
Mhm.
years.
It really has. It's amazing how we can connect with so many people and so far widespread as we've talked about, and that is a piece of bringing everything together.
Indeed, it is.
Jessie, can you share a little bit about your offerings and your classes you did in the beginning? And I'm going to put your information in the show notes as well that you've sent me so that people can contact you about your weekly class, bi-weekly class. But if you wouldn't mind to share your offerings, we'd love to hear.
So I do some in-person classes as well. Those are on Wednesday night for people in Louisville, Kentucky. Unfortunately, that is difficult to record and send out, but I do a Zoom class, which is every other week. It is Eastern time, and it's from 6:30 to 7:30. What we have been, and they are recorded, because I know a lot of people, particularly with time zones, it may make it difficult for them to participate in person, but the recording can always go out to whoever wants to listen to it again. I've started a class on, um, I'm doing a 3-part class on how to stop overthinking, because I
Mm.
find that the mental mind is really getting in the way of a lot of people, and the problems that are being presented to me, or the issues that people are working through, some of it seem to be rooted in overthinking. So that's what I do. But we do the wide variety. Sometimes I will do rituals and meditations. For example, in order to awaken someone's individual connection with spirit, I teach them 49 taps on your third eye, 64 taps on your ears, and 81 taps on your chin will awaken your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, and your clairsentience. And so it's a very easy thing to do. I usually do it before I go into meditation. I also offer tarot readings, and those are 45 minutes long. And if you want to focus on a particular topic, I'm trying to ask all of my clients now, what is the focus of you reaching out to me today? What is it that your spirit wants to know? I also do counseling, and that covers the gamut. I do personal counseling. I'm doing some coaching for individuals. I do marriage counseling as well, couples, and a relationship, I should say, because not a lot of the couples are not married, and that includes both opposite sex and same sex. And so that is an interesting, a lot of my counseling is with young children, particularly little boys. And that feels very exciting. I'm looking forward, after the first of the year, I have a friend that lives in California, and our plans are to start a podcast focusing on young men to help them really work through that toxic masculine energy and come to the healing Christos energy so that they can make their lives less chaotic and more grounded and centered. And
Yes.
that feels really, I've had so many young men ask me, can you be my mentor? And I'm like, well, yes, I will be your mentor, but there is a lot to being a mentor for an individual. Let's see, what else do I do? And then, I have people who come and say the doctors can't figure out what's going on. So I'm like, well, let me tune into your body and see what's going on. And that's where the medical intuitive comes in. And then if someone, I include Karuna Reiki, I include Belvaspatal, which are two of the modalities that I use as far as energy healing, because those are the ones I have credentials in. I have credentials in actually 14 different healing modalities. Told you I like to study.
Yeah.
And I use whatever feels comfortable to the individual or what they're able to work with in that moment.
Oh, I love that. Well, I love sitting with you. It's always an honor to come get a reading and have a session. I always feel so good after. In fact, I had one recently and I'm going to re-listen to it this week. I like to take notes, kind of be aware what's coming up. It's a beautiful session sitting with you. So thank you. Thank you for all you offer, and you're a beautiful mentor. I enjoy your classes. Always love when I get to sit in those classes on Wednesday nights, and so excited to know about Monday nights. So thank you for sharing your offerings here.
You're more than welcome. And right back at you. I know that you've done several circles. I keep up with you simply because I like when people find their wings and grow and fly wherever that you need to go. And as I told you in the last session, I still want to do a cacao ceremony.
I would love it. I would love to have you. And thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much for being on the podcast and along my journey, truly. I love you. And I will share with you all how to get in touch with Jessie, how to schedule a reading, and how to find out about Monday night classes. And thank you again for being at home with ChaChaMama.
I'm happy anytime to be at home with ChaChaMama, discussing whatever the spirits want us to. Namaste.
Namaste, my friend. I love you.
Love you too.